It's time once again for the City of Maple Grove Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. Thanks for joining us once again. And as you see, a special guest today, Heidi Nelson out today. So we have Joe Holgaboom with us, who is the Director of Community and Economic Development. Welcome once again.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank
he
you.
was at the meeting, and it was a rather long meeting that you had.
It was.
2 hours and 20 minutes in length, one item that took just over an hour, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But there were some items from consent we wanted to touch on first that were pulled. One is the Village Hall. You just wanted to make a quick mention of that,
Sure.
of what is happening in the city with that old Village Hall.
Sure. Well, this wasn't necessarily pulled, but there is some talk about it. So Village Hall is in our Lakeview Knolls Park in the northern part of Maple Grove. Unfortunately, it was the victim of arson back in 2022. We looked at a few architectural firms to look at some, if we were to rebuild the building, what it would take, what kind of renovations could be made, and ultimately it was just decided that it would be the best to take the building down. So that's what we authorized on Monday. We did take out of the building any historical kind of things of significance, so we'll be retaining those, hopefully restoring them and putting them on display in the future.
Very good. The one item that was pulled is the proclamation declaring October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and you wanted to mention a little bit about some of the festivities there around that, some of the recognition, and also some events coming on.
Yes, well, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, our police chief and our whole police department is very involved in domestic violence prevention. So our police chief spoke at the meeting about this. We are having, in Maple Grove, we do an annual vigil for domestic violence awareness, and that's with the group called Maria's Voice, honoring the late Maria Pugh, who was unfortunately a victim of domestic violence here in Maple Grove. And so that event always draws a lot of people that are supportive to the cause of prevention. One thing I did want to point out is throughout the month of October, our police department is raising money for domestic violence awareness and for Maria's Voice. So we do have mugs and police patches that are available for sale in our police department. You can get each one for $10, or you can get a discount if you buy both of the items. So stop by our police department to show your support.
And special colored lights throughout the city during the month of October as well. Tell us about that.
That is correct. Town green and elsewhere in the city will be lit up purple. That's the color of domestic violence awareness.
More information on the city's website if you want to find out more, maplegrovemn.gov. Now to public hearings of the meeting on October 2nd. The first was the easement vacation. Give us a little background on that. Pretty small subject.
Pretty small subject. We had a large lot with a single family home in one of our older neighborhoods, and essentially what they're doing is taking the lot, turning it into two lots so that another home can be built there, having to vacate a few easements in the process.
Moving ahead, community and economic development items. The first was Lil Explorers childcare. This is going to be proposed for the Wedwood Commerce Center site. Give us a little history of this project.
Yes, Lil Explorers is a local daycare chain, childcare chain. This will be the 13th location in the Twin Cities. It specializes, of course, in daycare, preschool, those types of things. Rather large facility, it's sort of in the middle of an older office park area off 67th Avenue in Wedgwood. This will accommodate up to almost 190 children. So rather large facility. So we're excited to see them come in. We wanted to make sure that the architecture and some of the colors and features that were used kind of complement the surrounding business park. So a little bit of work with that, but we've got things to kind of come together quite well.
Very good. Next item under community and economic development was Popeyes at Dunkirk Square, a new restaurant looking to come to town. Again, tell us about the discussion at the meeting.
That's right, Dave. So Popeyes is looking to come into Dunkirk Square. Dunkirk Square is the shopping center. That's where the old Target and Rainbow Foods used to be on the corner of County Road 30 and Maple Grove Parkway.
Right.
So as those two businesses left, and it sort of opened up capacity at that shopping center, we've seen through the years other things kind of being added to the parking areas, and so this is sort of the final phase of a new building kind of in that shopping center area. So it was approved. Of course, there was concerns whenever we have a drive-through about just traffic stacking and those types of things. One of the improvements that folks will see to kind of help traffic in that whole area is we're going to be adding a turn lane capacity on the other side of Maple Grove Parkway as people come out of Sam's Club and Walmart. And so we think think that'll really help kind of get people onto Maple Grove Parkway and off of those side streets.
Very good. Busy part of the city. The
Yes.
next item was the longest item of the evening. It was the Norse Maple Grove planned unit development. A number of items covered here. Again, give us a little background. Was before the Planning Commission and then came to the council.
Sure. So Norsk is a planned unit development that consists of 155 townhomes, which the developer says are going to be rental. It also has a concept for a future apartment building and a future commercial pad site in that location as well. This is just south of the new extension of Highway 610 that will be coming in on the west side of Interstate 94. So where 610 will ultimately intersect with Garland and Lawndale.
Okay.
There was a lot of talk at both the Planning Commission meeting as well as the City Council meeting about the project. One of the questions and concerns that was kind of raised is, with this being an exclusive rental community, how are we seeing options in Maple Grove for kind of entry-level housing, which typically used to be our townhomes. And so a lot of the products that we've been seeing in the last couple of years have been come in as rental.
Right.
So that was part of the discussion. The developer kind of told us about some of the market conditions and things, and that's the reasons behind some of the rental coming in. Another, typically when we do see townhomes come in, we always talk about parking, guest parking,
Right.
amenities, things like that, open space, trees, and so all of those issues were really touched on, and I think the City Council members had some very good questions that came up in the meeting. Ultimately, this item was approved.
Okay. Next item, a fun one coming up here. Get this on your calendar for winter. Ice castles are coming to the city of Maple Grove. Again, give us a little background and what can we look for and where?
Yes, well, this is exciting. So ice castles are coming to Maple Grove. They've been in the Twin Cities now for about 9 years at different locations. Started out in Stillwater, most recently in New Brighton. They are now coming to the corner of Weaver Lake Road and Main Street. So right now, if you look out there, it's grass. In the winter, it will be snow, ice, and ice structures. And so be fun for the whole family. You can tour through these buildings. There's slides, there's refreshments, there's things to do. It will be on a reservation basis, so you go online and make reservations for your ticket time. But there'll be plenty of parking. We have the parking ramp right there. Plenty of other things to do in the area, Maple Grove, in terms of restaurants, experiences. So we think it will really fit in well with our downtown area and our destination marketing organization and trying to make that area just a destination for the community.
Right, Experience Maple Grove at the table and talking about this. What's the timing now? I suppose it's all weather dependent, right?
Yes. So work has begun on the site, really, to get some utilities in place. And then as soon as we get to sort of consistently below 20 degrees, is when the structures will start to be built. And so we expect them to be open and ready probably toward the end of December.
All right, hopefully that cold weather doesn't come too soon, but
No.
for those that like ice castles, you want it to come soon.
Right.
Last items from the meeting on the 2nd, some reports from various departments, and you handled a number of these with people being gone. First, tell us a little bit about Public Works Engineering, a few storm discussions, and interim director.
Sure. So I would be remiss not to mention that our longtime Public Works Director and City Engineer, Ken Ashfield, has retired. So he his last day was last week, and a big role to fill for the city. Yeah. So we are looking at hiring, of course, a new Public Works Director. We have an interim person that's starting in that role next week, and so hope to have somebody in place by the end of the year.
All right, and best of luck to Ken. We will miss him as well. And then storms, a little bad weather in town, and I understand it affected a city building.
Yes, well, I think folks remember the storms from last weekend, a lot of rain, a lot of wind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the wind toppled a piece of a cell phone antenna that hit the top of one of our fire stations, and so caused a little bit of damage, caused a little bit of water damage to get into the building. So working through that, but luckily we haven't had any major reports of damage throughout the city. All
right, a big event coming up that people might want to get out for. It is Harvesttober Fest. Tough to say, but fun to go to. It's happening on Saturday, Central Park from 1 to 8. Give us some idea of what goes on at Harvesttober Fest.
Harvesttober Fest is fun for the whole family. There's dancing, there's games, there's vendors that have items for sale. There's, of course, the Oktoberfest beer gardens with Omni. There's food and refreshments, and so it's right at the pavilion at Central Park. Okay. I think this is our 3rd or 4th event, so we've been doing this now for a few years. Okay. Each year, I go every year. Each year it seems to get bigger and bigger, and it really is a lot of fun, and I think we'll have pretty good weather this weekend for it as well.
All right, again, Central Park 1 to 8 on this coming Saturday. Planning Commission coming up on October 9th. Give us a preview of what's on that agenda.
Planning Commission next week, we have a third Chipotle restaurant in the city. This time it's proposed to be near the Hy-Vee grocery store, southwest part of the city. We also have just a subdivision in the industrial area, not anything that should garner a whole lot of interest. And then we have an 8-lot single-family home subdivision up in the northern part of town, sort of near the Hindu temple.
Okay. Final note on that long meeting from the 2nd was a note that makes drivers happy in town. What is now open for traffic?
County Road 101 is fully open for traffic. So that's been under construction, Dave, all summer. We've had a lot of detours, a lot of, I think, frustrated drivers, but it is now open.
Fantastic. Good news for everyone. So that's your recap of the meeting on the 2nd. Again, the next meeting on the 16th. We'll give you that information towards the end of the program. But as always, we've got a lot to talk about of other things going on in the city. And let's start with special election. Not the city, but the school district. Explain how this works and the partners involved in this.
Absolutely. Well, there is a special election for the Osseo area schools. And of course, Osseo area schools covers a large area, a number of different cities. And so the city of Brooklyn Park will sort of represent all 8 cities in the district and will be hosting the special election for the school district. And so if folks are interested in voting early, they can visit Brooklyn Park's website to find out how to do that. Otherwise, their precincts will have voting the day of the election.
All right, another website you can go to is district279.org/betterfuture, has information about what might be on the ballot. Let's talk restaurants a little bit more. How about Chick-fil-A? I understand they're celebrating an anniversary as well.
Chick-fil-A, believe it or not, has been in Maple Grove now for 10 years. It doesn't seem that long.
No.
They did some improvements to their drive-thru just last year, so things are moving along a little bit faster now if you go to Chick-fil-A, but they are celebrating their 10-year anniversary. October 9th through the 14th, there will be special offerings and festivities over there, so be sure to check it out.
Special event the city puts on every fall to help you clean up around the home as you get ready for winter is the Cleanup Day. Tell us when that is, where that is, and how we can find out what we can bring.
Absolutely. The Cleanup Day is Saturday, October 7th, so coming right up. Any unwanted items, old appliances, tires, scrap metal, things like that, things that are usually harder to dispose of. We will take them at our Public Works facility at 9030 Forest View Lane, just south of County Road 30. So bring them in. We're open 8 to noon on Saturday to collect those items.
Again, the city's website, you can find out more there about what you can bring and if there's a cost associated to some of those items as well. Farmers Market is almost wrapping up the outdoor season, believe it or not. I bet they have a lot there. Again, remind us about the market, where it is, and what fun happens there.
Yes. Through the month of October, we'll still be outside. So the Farmers Market, of course, is in the community center parking lot. Okay. It's Thursdays. The hours will be 3 to 6 for the rest of the month. And of course, with harvest time upon us, it's bountiful items there. So check it out.
Yep, get out there and have some fun. All right, a few things related to the fire department we want to touch on. First is Fire Prevention Week. That is coming up soon, and they have a special theme this year.
Yes, so October 8th through the 14th is Fire Prevention Week. This year we're focusing on cooking safety, starts with you. So most of our fires that we see sort of in a residential setting start in the kitchen. And so this is really meant to kind of educate people on how to prevent fires, if fires should start, how to extinguish a fire, when to get the fire department involved. And so, of course, a lot of great tips can be found on our fire department section of our website at the city. All
right, and also on the fire department's Facebook page, so plenty of information out there. And the next thing is recreational burn permits. Again, time of the year that people might want to get out with a little fire in the backyard as it gets a little cool, but you have a few things people need to know, and you like people to register.
Yes, people are required to obtain a permit for a recreational fire. Bonfire, people refer to them as. There's no cost to that, but the reason we like people to apply for a permit is so that we can ensure that the fire will be located in a safe location, far enough away from your home, far enough away from sheds, things of that nature. Right. So very important to go to our website and pull a permit when you want to do a recreational fire.
All right, another thing we'll see a lot of in the fall is a lot of leaves coming down, and the city's ready to help you out with that. You've got a great site in town that can take some of those items. How does that work, and where is that?
Maple Grove residents can bring their refuse from their yard, their leaves, their grass clippings, their branches, you name it, up to our Yardway site. That's just north of Highway 610 on Maple Grove Parkway. So we will be open daily until November 30th to take those items. So feel free to check that out.
All right, and I understand, make sure you bring your driver's license,
Yes,
correct? So
that
you
is
just
correct.
need to make sure you prove that you're a Maple Grove resident, and I know other cities as well are a partner in that as well.
Other cities in the Northwest area are a partner, but be sure to bring that ID just to have that checked.
Sounds good. Make it easy for you. And
Yes.
speaking of the leaves, there's some volunteer opportunities as some people in town might need some help getting rid of those leaves. How can that happen?
Yes, particularly seniors in the community do approach the city from time to time with, asking for assistance, and so great opportunity for groups, individuals, families to offer some assistance for cleanup for folks that might need a little bit of help. And so seniorcommunity.org is a great place to go if you are interested in a volunteer opportunity. They can link you kind of with folks that are looking for, that have needs.
Great. Probably individuals, families, and maybe even groups can get involved in that. Final note as we look ahead, a big event coming up for those that might want to get in costume and get some goodies. Trunk or Treat event. Tell us more.
Trunk or Treat, an annual fun event for the whole family. It happens in the parking lot of our community center, so that's Saturday, October 28th. Dress up in your favorite costume and go trunk or treating. It's from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, again on the 28th.
All right, there you have a 2-hour and 20-minute meeting compacted into about 16 minutes, plus some events coming up in town. Joe, thanks so much for the time and being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
Let's leave you with some information here that you might need for that next meeting. It is on Monday, October 16th, 7:30 at the Government Center. And bottom of the screen on the left there, maplegrovemn.gov, the website to go to for a lot of the information we passed along, some of those special events coming up, information about the ice castles, and also information about that pickup day that you might want to be involved in. Again, for Joe Hogaboom, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the City of Maple Grove Report.